Hello, friends. Welcome to the session on artificial intelligence. In this session, we'll be discussing about neural network. Friends, many times we get surprised when we think how we can remember the things or how we make the decision. So there are many factors that actually contribute into the decision, but still human has a natural intelligence, and with the help of it, they are able to make the decisions. When initially the scientists start thinking that they should prepare a computer which will work like a human, then they also start thinking it is necessary that our computer should also have a brain which is very similar to that of human brain. So when computers start working on the artificial brain, then actually what they created is the neural network. In this session, we will understand what we mean by neural network and how exactly this neural network work in order to make a decision. So friends, as you know that you are viewing this session on my YouTube channel, and you can subscribe to the channel so that you can watch many other educational videos on the various topics of electronic science, computer science. So let us start the session and let us understand what we mean by a neural network. A neural network, or sometimes we call it as a artificial neural network, or in short, we call it as a ANN. Actually, it constitutes a network, and there are a number of nodes called as the neurons, and these neurons are interconnected to each other. In human brain also, you will find that there are large number of neurons present, and these neurons are connected to each other in order to process the information. In the same way, this artificial neural network can consist of number of neurons, and they are connected to each other. So as shown in this diagram, you will find that this is the set of neurons. And here what we apply the input that is being processed through this network, and then we will get certain output. So you can say that neural network is a kind of algorithm, and this algorithm can be called as a machine learning algorithm. And as I said, that this algorithm is being inspired by the human brain working. So just like the human brain works, in the same way, you will find that the neural network also works. But the only thing is that our brain is a biological brain, while the neural network is an artificial network. And it is basically, you can say, it is a program. So it consists of layers of interconnected nodes, and these nodes are being called as the neurons, and that will process the input data. Whatever the input data that you apply to the input of network, that is being processed. And then through the data, it will try to identify the patterns. And based on the patterns, it will make certain predictions. If the predictions are not close to the actual value, then you will find that there are certain feedback. And with the help of the feedback, it will adjust the network in such a way that it will try to come to close to the actual value. So let us understand what is the structure of the neural network. A network consists of different input layers. So it will receive the input feature. So whatever the thing that you want to process through the network, first of all, you must obtain the features of the input, and these input features are being fed to the input layer. Then there are hidden layers that will actually perform computation and will extract the patterns. And that patterns are being extracted by using the weights. You will find that each layer is being associated with a weight, and that weight is being indicated by W. And there are certain activation functions also associated. And you will find that the output layer is there, and this output layer will produce the final prediction, or whatever the classification result is there, that will be produced by the output layer. So you can say that mathematically, each neuron will apply a transformation function, and it is written as y is equal to f of wx plus b, where you will find that x will stand for the input, w will stand for the weights, b will stand for the bias, and f will stand for the activation function. For example, we can have the different types of activation function. You need to select the appropriate type of activation function, such as ReLU or sigmoid. And Y is the output of the neural network. So mathematically, you can express any neural network by using this transformation function. Y is equal to f of wx plus b. So it is necessary that whenever you prepare any neural network, then there should be appropriate training to the neural network. As we learn from our experiences, and since childhood, we go on learning, we go on observing the things, and then we are able to make the use of those things in making the decision. So in neural network, whenever you prepare it, then there is a necessity of training it. So the input will pass through the layer, and it is used for generation of the prediction, and that is being called as a forward propagation. Many times you will find that the output generated by the neural network is not close to the actual value or actual classification result, and therefore there is some error involved. And this error involved is measured in the form of a loss function. And in also neural network, we need a back propagation. And this back propagation is very important because it will update the weights. So these layers are having the different weights. These weights are updated by using the optimization techniques. Various optimization techniques are there. Say, for example, we can make the use of gradient descent. And there are a number of iterations in the neural network where the process is being repeated until we reach to the final value. Now, let us understand how neural network works. Now, suppose you are giving training to a child, and suppose there are different animal posters as shown in this diagram, and now you want to train your child to recognize the various animals. So what you do, you start by showing the child the various pictures of animals, and you will explain how the cat looks like, how the dog looks like, how the other elements, any animals looks like, lion look likes. And then you will find that the child will observe those pictures. And when he observes those pictures, then it will extract certain features of the animals. Say, for example, as far as dog is concerned, it will understand that the dog has 4 legs and a fur. So these are being called as the features of dog. So in the same way, you will find that the various features of the animals are being assigned in his mind, and with the help of which the child is able to classify or child is able to explain the name of the animal. In the neural network, the similar thing is being done. First of all, the input layer will receive the input, and this input is being received in the form of a numerical data. Suppose we have some image, then that image is being fed to the network, and actually that image is being converted into the numbers, and these numbers, we call them as the pixels. And then these numbers are fed to the input layer, and the neurons in the neural network will process the input. And whenever they process the input, they apply certain weight to the input, and that is being called as an importance factor. Then it uses some activation functions such as sigmoid to decide whether to pass the information forward. So the data is being moved from the input layer then to the hidden layers. So there can be number of hidden layers, and there is one output layer. So ultimately, whatever the output layer generates the output, based on it, the error is being calculated. So the output is actually compared to the correct answer, and the difference is being called as a loss function or error. And based on the value of the loss function, we can understand how far the prediction is from the actual value. Now, in the next step, what we do is that we do the back propagation. So the network will adjust the weight. If the actual value is far more different from the predicted value, then the weights are adjusted by using the back propagation. And this is being done in order to reduce the error. Now the technique called gradient descent will help to improve the accuracy. And this process or this iteration is being repeated multiple times. And that is being called as a training of the neural network. So the training continuously goes on until the network makes the correct predictions. So thank you, friends. Hopefully you understood what we mean by neural network and how exactly the neural network works. Thank you all.